Because in the Shaolin way we say, it is not the number of years that matter, it is the life within those years that tells the story. Today, I will not give you a number, I will give you something more valuable: awareness, discipline, and perspective. Because the answer to how long you will live after 70 depends on what you are doing before you reach it. 1. Longevity is earned through daily discipline, not luck. 2. Your habits after 50 determine your health after 70. 3. Stillness of the mind is as vital as strength of the body. 4. Purpose gives years meaning. Without it, time is empty. Longevity is earned through daily discipline, not luck. Many people believe that living a long life is a matter of genetics or chance. While genetics do play a role, they are only a small part of the equation. The greater influence lies in the actions we take every single day. Discipline, when practiced consistently, becomes a powerful force that shapes not only our character, but also our physical and mental well-being. It is in the repetition of small, intentional actions that the seeds of long life are sown. Discipline is not glamorous. It does not shout for attention. It is quiet, repetitive, and often unnoticed by the outside world. It begins in the earliest hours of the morning when the world is still asleep. It is found in the decision to rise from bed, stretch the body, and move with awareness. It is in the food that is chosen, the posture that is maintained, thoughts that are allowed to stay or be let go. Each decision builds upon the previous one. These decisions are the architects of health, and health is the foundation of longevity. There is a misconception that discipline is restrictive or punishing. But in reality, discipline is a form of self-respect. It means caring enough about your future self to make the right choices today. Choosing to eat mindfully, to exercise even when it's inconvenient, to rest when needed, to avoid excessive stimulation. These are not signs of a rigid life. These are signs of someone who understands the value of energy, the importance of recovery, and the cost of neglect. A disciplined person does not wait for motivation. Motivation is fleeting. Some days it may not come at all, but discipline does not depend on feeling inspired. It is like the rising and setting of the sun, constant and dependable. It shows up even when there is no applause, even when the results are not immediately visible. It is this consistency that strengthens the heart, fortifies the lungs, sharpens the mind, and preserves mobility. Health after 70 is often not determined by what you do in that decade. It is determined by what you did in the decades before. The body remembers. It remembers the food you ate, the stress you carried, the hours you sat, the nights you didn't sleep. It also remembers the walks, the meditations, the laughter, the stretching, the breath. When the body has been cared for daily, it does not fall apart easily. When the mind has been trained daily, it does not collapse under pressure. This is why discipline must be woven into the routine of living, not as a punishment, but as a way of honoring the life you have. Each day, there are 1,000 temptations to take the easy path, skip the workout, eat the processed food, stay up too late, say just this once. But each of those small choices carries weight. A single unhealthy decision may not be disastrous, but accumulated over weeks, months, and years, they erode the strength of the body. Conversely, a single good decision may seem insignificant in the moment, but compounded over time, it builds resilience. It is this accumulation of disciplined moments that gives someone the ability to not only reach the age of 70, but to pass through it with vitality. Discipline also trains the mind to be calm in face of challenges. A disciplined mind is not reactive, it is observant, it pauses before responding, it does not cling to chaos. This mental clarity is vital as one ages. The fear of aging, the anxiety of illness, the sadness of watching others fade, these emotional burdens can be heavier than physical ones. A disciplined mind is better equipped to process them, to let go, and to continue forward with purpose and serenity. There is also discipline in simplicity, in removing what is unnecessary, in creating space in life for what truly matters. Many people accumulate things, habits, and distractions that do not serve them. A disciplined life is one that makes room for silence, for stillness, for for reflection. It is in this space that one can hear the body, listen to its needs, and attend to them before they become urgent. Longevity is not simply about extending time. It is about extending quality. A long life lived without discipline may become a long struggle. A disciplined life, however, creates the conditions for a long and meaningful existence. Your habits after 50 determine your health after 70. While many people assume that aging is a sudden decline that begins around the age of 70, the truth is that it is a slow unfolding of everything you have done in the years leading up to it. The body is not an isolated machine that begins to fail at a set number. Instead, it is a living memory of your choices, your routines, your movements, your rest, and your nutrition. What you do in your 50s and 60s writes the script for how you will live in your 70s and beyond. At 50, you stand at a critical intersection. You are no longer young in the traditional sense, but you are not yet old. This is the moment when many believe they can continue as they always have, ignoring the slow signs of change. But the body is already speaking. Metabolism begins to slow, recovery takes longer, joints begin to stiffen, and the body's natural resilience diminishes if it is not actively maintained. This is not a reason for fear. It is a call to awareness. The habit you choose after 50 become more important than ever. If you are sedentary, if your meals are careless, if your mind is filled with constant stress, if sleep is irregular, these conditions begin to take a deeper toll. They may not show up immediately, but they are working silently beneath the surface. Conversely, if you choose to move your body daily, to stretch, to breathe consciously, to nourish yourself with intention, and to prioritize mental peace, you are actively investing in a future where vitality remains possible. The body is deeply responsive even later in life. Many people underestimate how capable they still are. Strength can be built, flexibility can return, blood pressure can lower, memory can sharpen, but none of these happen without deliberate, daily actions. The small decisions become large over time. Whether you take the stairs or the elevator, whether you walk or sit, whether you meditate or rush, whether you hydrate or forget, all of these are habits that accumulate their effects and shape the body that will carry you through your 70s. Nutrition is one of the most powerful tools you have. After 50, the body's ability to process and recover from poor food choices becomes weaker. Processed sugars, trans fats, excessive alcohol, and refined carbohydrates do more damage now than they did before. The digestive system becomes more sensitive and the organs more vulnerable. Choosing whole foods, plant-based meals, healthy fats, clean proteins, and sufficient fiber not only supports longevity, but also improves day-to-day quality of life. Food is no longer just fuel, it becomes medicine. Movement must also evolve. The goal is not to train like a young athlete, but to train with wisdom. A balance of strength, mobility, endurance, and stillness is required. Walking, yoga, tai chi, resistance training, swimming. These become essential practices, not optional. When the body stops moving, it begins to stiffen, and stiffness invites injury. Injury leads to immobility, and immobility is the beginning of decline. By keeping the body in motion, you signal to it that life is still vibrant, still engaged, still ready. Sleep becomes a non-negotiable. Recovery is slower after 50, and sleep is the time when the body repairs. Deep rest supports hormone balance, brain function, emotional regulation, and immune defense. Staying up late, consuming screens at night, or allowing stress to interfere with sleep is no longer a habit you can afford. Prioritizing good sleep hygiene is a foundational act of self-preservation. Mental health also takes on a new weight. Stress that is unmanaged becomes chronic, and chronic stress is one of the most dangerous threats to long-term health. It weakens the immune system, raises inflammation, accelerates aging, and clouds judgment. Practices like mindfulness, deep breathing, journaling, nature walks, and healthy social interaction help protect the mind and spirit. A calm mind supports a healthy body. Emotional balance becomes as essential as physical strength. Your habits are not just for you. They shape how you relate to others, how present you can be with family, and what kind of energy you bring into a room. In your 70s, these things become more visible if you cultivated patience, discipline, and gratitude in your 50s. They will stay with you. If you neglected your well-being, the consequences will follow. The person you are becoming is the result of what you do when no one is watching, especially in these mid-life years. Aging well is not accidental, it is deliberate. It is not something that happens in 1 year or even 5. It is something that is built slowly through repeated attention and care. Stillness of the mind is as vital as strength of the body. In the modern world, people are constantly surrounded by noise, both external and internal. External noise comes from devices, responsibilities, work, and social demands. Internal noise arises from thoughts, worries, regrets, and fears. While physical strength is often praised and prioritized, the mind is often left cluttered and restless. Yet as one ages, it becomes increasingly clear that a calm and clear mind is just as necessary as a fit and functional body. The mind is the command center of every action. Every movement, every decision, every response begins first as a thought. If the mind is restless, decisions become reactive. If the mind is burdened by anxiety, the body responds with tension. If the mind is always racing, it cannot properly rest, and neither can the body. The nervous system is intimately connected to the mind state. Stress, when left unchecked, becomes physical. It tightens muscles, raises blood pressure, disrupts digestion, and interferes with sleep. A calm mind, on the other hand, helps the entire body operate with balance and efficiency. Many people chase strength in the gym, in their careers, and in their image, but they rarely pause long enough to strengthen the inner space. This leads to imbalance. A person might appear strong on the outside yet feel lost or unsettled within. True strength is found in harmony. The muscles may carry weight, but it is the mind that carries life's deeper burdens: grief, uncertainty, loneliness, and change. As one reaches later stages in life, these invisible burdens become heavier. Without mental stillness, they can overwhelm even the strongest body. Stillness does not mean emptiness. It does not mean stopping the mind completely. It means clarity. It means space. It means the ability to witness your thoughts rather than being controlled by them. This stillness allows for reflection without judgment, decision without impulsiveness, and presence without distraction. It creates a deep well of inner strength that cannot be shaken by external events. When the mind is still, one can listen, truly listen, not just to others, but to the body, to intuition, to life itself. Practices that cultivate mental stillness are not mysterious or complicated. They are simple but require consistency. Sitting quietly for a few minutes each morning, observing the breath, walking in nature without devices, writing down thoughts before bed, meditating, even for just 5 minutes a day. These are practices that clear the fog from the mind. They are not escapes from reality but pathways into deeper awareness. Over time, they become the tools that keep the mind sharp, calm, and resilient. As we age, the challenges of life do not disappear. In fact, they often increase. Loss of loved ones, health issues, and existential questions become more frequent. A mind that has not been trained in stillness will struggle under this weight. It will resist reality, amplify suffering, and fall into despair. But a still mind has a different response. It accepts what it cannot control, adjusts where it can, and finds peace even in uncertainty. This kind of peace is not passive. It is powerful. It is the quiet power of someone who is not shaken by every storm. Mental stillness also supports memory, concentration, and decision-making. These are critical functions that begin to decline with age if not maintained. A cluttered mind forgets. A restless mind loses focus. But a clear and trained mind retains its sharpness longer. It is better able to manage complex thoughts, recall important details, and engage meaningfully with others. It is also more emotionally balanced. It does not swing wildly between joy and sorrow. It holds both with equal awareness. In relationships, a still mind listens more than it speaks. It creates space for understanding. It reduces conflict. It enhances patience. These qualities deepen human connection, which becomes more valuable than ever after 70. People are drawn to those who bring calm into their presence. The stillness you carry becomes a gift you offer to others. Cultivating a still mind is a practice, not a destination. It does not mean you will never feel stress or anxiety. It means you are no longer ruled by them. You learn to observe, to breathe, to center. You become less reactive, more thoughtful, more grounded. In this way, mental stillness becomes a form of strength, one that supports the entire life system from the inside out. Purpose gives years meaning. Without it, time is empty. Living longer is not the same as living well. A person may survive into their 80s or 90s, but if those years are lived without a sense of purpose, they can feel hollow, repetitive, and disconnected. Purpose is what gives life direction. It is what pulls a person forward, even through difficulty. It offers a reason to wake up in the morning and a reason to keep moving, learning, and giving. Especially after 70, when many people retire or slow down, the presence or absence of purpose becomes one of the most powerful factors in determining whether those years are fulfilling or burdensome. When a person is young, purpose often takes the form of ambition, career, family, goals, achievements. There is a clear drive to build, to expand, to prove something. But as the years pass, those outer layers change. Children grow up, jobs end, roles shift. The world becomes quieter in some ways. If a person has tied their purpose only to external roles, they may feel lost when those roles disappear. That is why deeper purpose must be cultivated, one that is rooted not in what you do, but in who you are. Purpose after 70 often takes a different shape. It is less about striving and more about offering. It is about wisdom, connection, and legacy. A person may no longer be in charge of a business or raising children, but they can be a source of guidance, compassion, and insight. Purpose might be found in mentoring younger generations, in creating art, in tending a garden, in volunteering, in storytelling, or in simply being fully present for those around them. These forms of purpose may seem small on the surface, but they carry deep significance. Without purpose, the mind begins to drift. Days blend into each other, motivation fades, the body follows the mind's lead, movement becomes more difficult, sleep becomes irregular, joy becomes harder to find. A person may begin to ask themselves why they are still here, and if that question goes unanswered for too long, it can lead to loneliness, depression, and a loss of will. But with purpose, even simple days feel rich. Small acts carry weight. There is an internal light that stays lit even as the body ages. Purpose also gives structure. It creates a rhythm to life. When you know what you are contributing to, you shape your days with more intention. You eat to stay healthy so you can continue your purpose. You exercise to keep your body able. You rest so your mind stays clear. Purpose makes discipline meaningful. It becomes easier to take care of yourself when you know you are not just surviving, but serving something greater than yourself. There is no single definition of purpose. It is not one fixed path. It can change as you grow. What mattered to you at 40 may not be what matters to you at 75. This is not a failure. It is a natural evolution. The important thing is to continue asking the question, what matters to me now? What do I care about deeply enough to give my time, energy, and presence to? Even if the answer is simple, it can still be powerful. Purpose is not measured by scale. It is measured by sincerity. Finding purpose requires stillness and reflection. It may come in quiet moments. It may come through conversations, through loss, through joy. It often arises from paying attention. Purpose can also be chosen deliberately. You can wake up and decide that today, your purpose is to bring kindness into someone's life, to be a calm presence in a chaotic world, to share what you've learned, to love without condition. These are choices, and they form the threads that give life meaning. People who have a sense of purpose tend to live longer and report greater life satisfaction. Their minds stay sharper, their hearts stay more open, and their bodies tend to remain more active. This is not magic, it is the result of direction. Purpose draws energy out of a person. It reduces isolation. It creates momentum. It brings people together. It gives even the ordinary moments of life a deeper quality. A cup of tea shared with intention. a walk taken with gratitude, a conversation held with full presence. These things become sacred when they are infused with purpose. After 70, the world may expect less from you, but that does not mean you have less to offer. In fact, you may have more to offer than ever: more clarity, more perspective, more truth. Purpose allows all of that to come forward. It helps you remain a participant in life, not just an observer. You are not merely passing time. You are still shaping the world around you in small but meaningful ways. So, how long will you live after 70? The answer is not written in your genes, nor decided by fate. It is being written right now, in the way you choose to live each day. Your longevity is not a question of time, but of intention. Daily discipline builds the foundation. The habits you carry after 50 prepare the body for strength or for struggle. The stillness of your mind becomes the anchor that holds you steady through change and purpose. The quiet flame within gives meaning to every breath, every step, every year that comes. To live long is one thing. To live well, deeply and fully after 70 and beyond is something you create, not by chance but by choice, and that choice begins today.